What's going on, everyone? Well, the Boston Celtics broke the tie and officially have 18 NBA championships. I really hope that this lights a fire under the Lakers. I really hope that the Lakers take some pride this offseason. It's unfortunate, right? And I know and understand that right now the Lakers, everything kind of looks chaotic. Everything kind of looks a mess. But, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what the deal is, right? Even like the coaching mess. For all we know, they already have it done. JJ Redick's been basically linked to the Lakers for the last 2 months. And so I think it's very likely that JJ Redick getting hired is probably right around the corner. I mean, even while you're watching this video, we may end up getting the news. But now that the NBA Finals is over, obviously, again, very frustrating that the Boston Celtics were able to pull this off. I mean, it was kind of expected. I mean, they're the best team all year. Their roster was stacked. But the Lakers now can officially start negotiating with their free agents. So they can't negotiate with other teams' free agents. So guys like DeMar DeRozan or Valanciunas, like guys like that the Lakers may be interested in. They're not going to be able to have any of those discussions yet. They won't be able to do that until June 30th. That's when the Lakers everything will open up and they'll be able to start negotiating with other teams. But with the new CBA, what you can do now is you can negotiate with your own free agents. So it's basically to give teams a head start to keep and re-sign and handle their own guys and try to come to solutions. So the Lakers have multiple guys that they need to start working out deals with. Obviously, like the minimum guys, Jaxson Hayes, Taurean Prince, Spencer Dinwiddie. You have to figure out what are they going to do with like Max Christie. Right? It'd be nice to kind of start locking these guys up and kind of figure out who's coming back, who's not, who's leaving, which of these guys are picking up their options. Are they declining their options and you're signing them to new deals? Are they declining their options and going elsewhere, right? Kind of see which guys are you going to be able to keep and retain, which guys are going to end up going to other places or look to go other places. Obviously, if you don't strike a deal, like say Spencer Dinwiddie, for example, let's say he's like, yeah, I want to be back, but I want to see if I can get more than a vet minimum somewhere, right? So it's very possible that somebody like Spencer could go and look for opportunity and not try to re-up right away and sign a deal on a vet minimum deal with the Lakers right now and hit free agency, kind of explore a little bit. There's nothing there, or I basically am just getting vet minimum offers from everybody. Let me just stick with the Lakers and run it back because this is where I want to be. Right? That is definitely a real possibility. Then even like big guys like Jaxson Hayes and stuff, like Christian Wood is expected, is supposed to basically opt in, stick around with the Lakers. You could see several other players do that same thing. Like Cam Reddish, I expect to probably opt in and stick around. Jaxson Hayes, he may even look at it and go, hey, let me stick around here. I think Jaxson Hayes should, even if he gets other offers elsewhere. For him, I think being able to work with Anthony Davis, I really would like to see Jaxson Hayes basically do what Rui did with LeBron and just glue himself to AD this offseason and just say, whatever you're doing, whatever workouts you're doing, I want to do the exact same things, and just really start picking his brain and understanding, what the things that Anthony Davis is capable of doing. Because I think Jaxson Hayes, look at what Lively and Gafford were able to do during this playoff run and even in the finals, right? Their value was in their mobility and versatility, right? Them being able to run the floor, them being able to be more versatile and be put in different actions and different sets and stuff. And so I think Jaxson Hayes is a guy that could do a lot of the same things, right? He has that insane athleticism. He has the foot speed. He's actually pretty decent in, pick and roll defense as a big man, right? If he can continue to grow and develop, and he's still incredibly young. I mean, he's young enough to be drafted in this year's draft. Some of the guys that are going to be drafted in this year's draft are as old, in some cases older than Jaxson Hayes. So again, Jaxson Hayes still has a lot of room for growth potential and upside. And if I'm Jaxson Hayes, I just think, you're not going to get many opportunities to learn from a player of the caliber that Anthony Davis is and his versatility and the things that he can do. I think Jaxson Hayes should opt in, kind of stick around with the Lakers, right? And that's kind of my point with several of these guys, like even Cam Reddish. I think he is another guy that could opt in, stick with the Lakers, really learn from guys like LeBron. Even Jared Vanderbilt, I think he should kind of take some notes from. Because, I mean, Cam Reddish, he's a guy that I do think, with his size, his length, and his versatility, if he can at least be a lockdown defender, which he was very good defensively this past season, especially before injury. So he's a guy that I think could, continue to grow, develop. And he's a guy that I really do think he still has a lot of upside and potential, but obviously hasn't been able to capture that fully yet. But I think he should stick around with the Lakers, continue to grow and develop. It doesn't hurt to have 6'8", 7'2" wingspan defensive wings on your roster that could basically play 2 through 4. I think that there's a lot of value there. But LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell in particular, those are the two guys that are obviously going to be the biggest kind of keep your eye on this offseason. So I don't believe either of these two are going to opt in or re-up at any time soon, right? So from D'Angelo Russell's perspective, he's going to want to kind of engage, like, okay, what am I looking at? How realistic are things, right? He has time. So I imagine D'Lo, if he does opt in, which he very well could, I know the perception is that he's not, but it also depends on who's, what's the market look like? What are teams willing to offer? Obviously, he wants a longer-term deal. It is also possible that he works something out with the Lakers to maybe get, a longer-term deal with the Lakers. That's always a possibility. But D'Lo, I think it's in his best interest to kind of take his time and let this play out, let this extend as long as possible and see, well, is Orlando willing to throw some real money at me? Or is it kind of like, Orlando really wants to try to go get Klay Thompson. I'd kind of be waiting around. And, if they don't get Klay, then maybe they'll give me money. But at that point, it might be dried up and, they might not offer me the 18, right? It just depends on how the market looks. But D'Angelo Russell, I fully expect to, I'm not saying I wouldn't be surprised if he worked out a new deal with the Lakers, because I do think he wants to stick with the Lakers, but I'm sure he doesn't want to stick with the Lakers just to be traded, unless he wants to be traded to a specific team, and then maybe the Lakers could work something out so they don't lose him for nothing. Right? D'Lo could say, I want to go to, Chicago or something, right? Like, send me to Chicago, right? Just using them as an example. And then maybe you could work something out to where maybe you're shipping D'Lo to Chicago and he's opting in, or Atlanta, right? Maybe he's like, yeah, well, they're going to trade Trey and DeJounte. Maybe Atlanta's like, hey, we'd actually be open to taking D'Angelo Russell, but we want him to opt in, and tell D'Lo, like, hey, opt in. Let's see how it goes the first year. If it works great, then we'll give you a long-term contract. Maybe that's something that he'd be open to. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see how the market shapes up. But again, I don't expect D'Lo necessarily to, later today or tomorrow end up signing a new deal or anything. And then for LeBron James, one, it's his leverage, right? Like that's what LeBron always does. He uses free agency as his leverage play. It is very possible that he just immediately decides, hey, I'm going to opt out and then let's work out a new deal, right? Because he is going, I don't want to say 100% because you never really know, but he is more likely than not going to opt out. So him opting out doesn't mean panic mode, right? It doesn't mean like, oh no, Lakers are going to lose LeBron. No, him opting out just means that it's going according to plan, right? But again, he's going to wait and be patient to kind of apply that pressure to the Lakers of like, hey, I really need you to make some moves and get some things done that I'm happy with, so that way I stick around type thing. It's just what he does. Now, again, this is teams free agency. Like, you're only supposed to talk and negotiate with your own teams and players, but it's the NBA. We all know tampering's a thing, right? So I'm sure some of these guys, like D'Lo, I'm sure he's talked to some of these organizations already. I'm sure he has an idea of what the deal is. So again, it could very well, maybe he does sign right away, right? Or same thing with LeBron. Maybe he does sign right away, right? But more likely than not, they're going to draw it out. And for LeBron, he doesn't have to rush. Like, he could be the last domino. I would prefer him just basically re-upping, because like last time he re-upped immediately, right? I would like to see him do that again. That way the Lakers know which direction to go. Because if LeBron leaves, then you might go down a different path than you would if he sticks around, right? Like, for example, if LeBron leaves, Trae Young makes so much more sense than he does right now. Like, I would like Trae Young regardless. I have my reservations. I'm not super sold on Trae Young. I have my concerns, definitely. But if LeBron leaves, then going after Trae makes a lot more sense than he does alongside LeBron, right? So, maybe if LeBron leaves, it's like, okay, well, Trae is now our number one target. But if LeBron stays, well, then it's like, okay, maybe we don't want Trae. Maybe we do prefer DeJounte. Or maybe we do prefer a Zach LaVine. Or maybe we do want to go the depth route, right? It just, depending on what LeBron does, kind of dictates which direction you should or could potentially go. But regardless, I mean, Rob Pelinka, he has a lot that he needs to figure out, a lot that he needs to get done. I kind of expect JJ Redick to be signed rather quickly here. Like, genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if JJ's signed. Again, like, while you're watching this video, we get the news JJ's signed. I don't think it's going to drag out too long. Again, maybe it won't be JJ. I don't know that for certain, but I think it's going to be JJ. I'd be a little surprised at this point if it's not JJ. I think now that the NBA Finals is over, I think you get the coach out the way. Just, we all know it's going to be JJ. Just sign JJ so we can start rounding out your roster, getting your roster together, and then now you can start dealing with your free agents, getting into the draft. Can you work out a trade during the draft? If not, keep pick, and then try to work out some trades. And when the offseason is officially set, try to get a couple free agents, right? Maybe get a couple value guys, and let's go. All right, let's get back into the season. Let's have a good year, right? And start putting our best foot forward, because this year was not what we had hoped this time last year, right? Where it was like, oh, Lakers, yeah, they lost in the conference finals, but there's so much excitement, like, oh man, maybe the Lakers can really do this thing, and then it was just disappointment. So I'm excited for the offseason. I'm glad it's finally over and we're here and we can kind of start moving in the right direction. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you too excited that we're in the off season now officially, and that the Lakers can start negotiating with guys? Is there anyone in particular that you want the Lakers to keep around and have stick around? Spencer Dinwiddie, Jaxson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince, whomever, right? Max Christie, obviously. They need to make sure that they keep him. But again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.